Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I am coming to you with a very old tag video that I did like 2 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I don't know. It's been quite some time. But that is the makeup book tag, which I think is a very fun tag. It's very fun to do and it's very fun to watch in my opinion. Like I said, I did this tag myself like 2 years ago, and the way that I do my makeup has changed a lot since then. And I still get a lot of people asking me for like makeup tutorials, which I will never do. And this is the closest you'll get to that. So I hope you enjoy this. But basically the questions in the tag are all based around like makeup products. And then you do your makeup as you answer the questions and talk about books. So yeah, I thought this would be fun to do today because I have some more videos to film and I may as well make another video out of doing my makeup today. So I hope you guys like this. The questions that I'm going to be using for this tag are from Sarah without an H's video because I don't think the original makeup book tag is available anymore, like the person who originally created the video. I think they privated their video or took it down, so you can't find it anymore, but Sarah without an H created some more questions and like added to the tag anyway, so I'm gonna do her version of it. So I'll definitely leave hers linked down below as well as my original tag if you want to go and check both of those out. But without any further ado, let's get into putting some makeup on my face and talking about some books. Question number 1. Primer. Pick a book that left a lasting impression. Now, if you watched my old makeup book tag, then you know that I don't use primer and I still don't use primer, but I do use moisturizer, so that's what I'm going to use for this question. And the one that I'm using right now is this Kiehl's, I think that's how you say it, Ultra Facial Cream, which I just recently started using and I really, really like it because I have extremely dry skin. No moisturizer ever works for my skin. I feel like my skin just like starts cracking and flaking no matter what moisturizer I use, but this is one of the first ones I've used that's like actually worked for my skin. So if you have dry skin, I highly recommend this. I don't remember what the other questions in this tag are, so I may end up answering like with the same book multiple times. So sorry about that because I didn't plan this ahead of time because I'm the best booktuber ever. For this, I think I'm gonna go with a book that I haven't talked about in a while on my channel, and that is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. That book, it's exceptional. I read it in 2017, I think, and ever since I read it, I like haven't been able to stop thinking about that book, even though I don't talk about it that often. It's basically like a historical fiction novel that follows the story of this boy who finds this book called The Shadow of the Wind, and he becomes obsessed with the story, and then he wants to read more books by this author. But then he finds out that all of that author's books have been like burned, they've been destroyed, and he doesn't publish any books anymore, and all of like the books that he has published have basically been destroyed. So he kind of goes on this quest to find out what happened to him and why his books have been destroyed. And then we get like multiple timelines of like the author's life and like what happened to him as well as our main character. I cannot recommend that book enough. It's fantastic if you like mystery, if you like historical fiction. If you like books, you'll like that book because a lot of it is about books. So yeah, highly recommend, definitely left a lasting impression. Question number 2, foundation. Pick your favorite first book in a series. So for foundation, I still use the same BB cream that I've been using since my last video. It's not the same bottle, I promise. This is not the same one, it's not that old, but it is the same one. I use this Clinique Age Defense BB cream. It has SPF 30. I mentioned in that video as well, I don't like wearing foundation. I actually really hate it. I just don't like things on my face. My skin is like pretty okay, so I don't like feel the need to wear foundation too much anyway, and this BB cream does the job, and it's also somewhat moisturizing and it doesn't make my skin flaky, which is why I like it. As for favorite first book in a series goes, I want to say for this one, even though it's a book I talk about like all the time, An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I love that whole series with all of my heart, obviously, but just An Ember in the Ashes, the first one, just sets such a good foundation for the rest of the series. It sets up the characters so well, it sets up the plot and the world so well, and you just instantly fall in love with this story, which is what I think a first book in a series should really do. And yeah, that's why I love it so much. I did not get my beauty blender wet, and this was a regrettable decision, so I'm gonna go fix that. Okay, I'm back. Never work with a dry beauty blender, it's the worst. But yeah, as I was saying, I adore An Ember in the Ashes, and I think the first book is probably my favorite one in the series, even though I love all of them, but the first one's my everything. All right, foundation is done. Went super light on it today because I'm only filming videos, I'm not going anywhere. Question number 3, concealer. Pick a character you wish you could get rid of. So for concealer, I use this YSL brightening thing. Honestly, it's not really concealer. It's kind of a highlighter, but the guy who sold it to me was telling me about like how good it is, and I just caved. I caved and I bought it, and now I've been using it for like the past year. So it's more brightening than anything else, but I don't really use it to like cover up marks too much. I just kind of use it for like under my eyes and it works for that, so I'm not really complaining. But as for a character that I wish that I could get rid of, I kind of want to go, because I'm still thinking about Number in the Ashes, with Helene from that series because I hate her. I know how many of you are gonna disagree with me, but I can't stand her. The only problem with that is that like she serves a purpose in that series, so I wouldn't necessarily want to get rid of her. And I don't like hate her, I just can't really stand her. Ooh, you know who I really want to get rid of? I want to get rid of Zara Dearborn from the Mortal Instruments series, specifically the Dark Artifices, because I can't stand her. She's the worst and she needs to go away. So that's who I would get rid of. Question 4 is powder. Pick your favorite last book in a series. So the powder that I use is this Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and I basically only use this to set my under eye concealer. I don't like putting it all over my face because my face is so dry, like I mentioned so many times in this video, that powder just makes it flaky and it doesn't work for me. So I just put it under my eyes and that's what I'm gonna do. But picking a favorite last book in a series, I feel like I said this in my last video too. I think I said Crooked Kingdom, but I kind of want to say Crooked Kingdom again because like, is there a better last book in a series? I don't think so. Apart from that, probably Clockwork Princess, because that's definitely another one of my favorite last books in a series. What's a series I read this year? I feel like of all the series that I read like recently, none of them have concluded besides the Dark Artifices, but that book is definitely not my favorite last book in a series. Oh, another one definitely would be Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, because that conclusion was exceptional and it came out this year and I loved it so much. I actually don't know if I like that one more than I like Strange the Dreamer. I feel like I like them almost pretty equally, but it's a really good last book in a series. Question 5, eyebrows. Pick a book that you think everybody should read. So I don't do anything to my eyebrows. This is just the way they naturally are and I don't like doing anything to them because I feel like I look really strange when I try, so I just don't. But a book that I think that everybody should read is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I've talked about to death, but I don't care. Everybody needs to read it. A more recent one that I think everyone should read is Circe by Madeline Miller. That book is exceptional. And another one, which I've also talked about in my 5 books everyone needs to read video, is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. That one is so good, so highly underrated, and everyone should read it. So there you go, 3 recommendations. Question 6, eyeshadow. Pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. So for eyeshadow, the palette that I've been basically using nonstop, the only palette I've been using for the past year and a half, the one I'm wearing in all my videos, is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I love this thing to death. I think it's incredible. It's, in my opinion, the best palette for my complexion and I love it so much. But I don't want to use this one today actually because I got a new palette for my birthday and that is the Huda Beauty Topaz Obsessions palette, and I am obsessed with the colors in this. I just think they're really, really pretty and I really want to try them out. My look may end up looking like a disaster because I haven't tried this out, so we're just gonna make it up as we go. But yeah, not using this today. Today we're going with the Huda Beauty palette because I really want to try this out. And in terms of a book with my favorite colors on the cover, I feel like I'm just gonna match this because I don't really know what my favorite colors are. And I'm in kind of like an orangey mood. So we are gonna go with Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor because I actually did not think I would like this book, like the colors of it, because it's like orangey and I don't actually really like orange very much despite what I'm wearing today and the eyeshadow that I like to use. But it's actually such like a beautiful, vibrant color that I did end up really loving the cover of this and I really like the colors. And like I said, it matches my palette and my whole look. So I'm going with this book. Read it, it's really good. So like I said, we are just gonna make this up as we go and hopefully it doesn't look like a disaster. There we have it, the finished look. It's a very dramatic look, far more dramatic than I was going for. And it got glitter everywhere, so That's always fun. But I think I can like tone it down a bit if I put on some eyeliner. Maybe the eyeliner might make it too much. I don't know yet. I think it'll look better with mascara and my base completed. But despite the fact that it is pretty dramatic, I do really like the colors of this palette. I don't know, it's fun to be dramatic sometimes, and I actually kind of like this look. Question 7 is eyeliner, pick a dark and mysterious book. For this question, I'm gonna go with The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is a very mysterious, very dark book that I absolutely loved. I've talked about it a bit, but I kind of describe this book as How to Get Away with Murder because it's very, very similar to that concept. It's these students in this prestigious school in Vermont, and one of the students has been murdered, but we don't really know how or why. You kind of just unravel that mystery as the story goes on. It's phenomenal. I highly recommend it if you're looking for some new literary fiction or anything mysterious and dark, or anything that has to do with like Greek or Greek mythology, because they talk about that a lot in here. It's a big part of it. I think this book has something for almost everyone. I don't think I'm actually gonna go with any eyeliner, like liquid liner. I did do a little bit of like brown on my lash line, so it's kind of like eyeliner. So that's what I'll use in place of that. I think that the dark eyeliner will make it be too much for me, and I kind of like this no liner look. Question 8 is mascara, pick a long book. For a long book, I have to go with the longest book I have read, Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. This book is 912 pages. It's absurdly long, but I read the whole thing in like 2 days because I was that obsessed. But yeah, longest book I've read recently and the longest book I've read ever. And for mascara, I use the Benefit Roller Lash. I've been using this since I did my last video too. It's still my favorite mascara. I've tried other ones in between. Nothing compares. This is the best one. Highly recommend. All right, mascara is done and I feel like my eyes look a lot more balanced now. Question 9, blush. Pick a book with cringeworthy romance. The blush that I use is this super old MAC blush that I've had for far too long and I probably need to throw away because it's definitely expired. But yeah, it's the only one I have, so I'm gonna keep using it. And I feel like I could go with several different books for this. The first thing that's coming to mind is Romance from the Cruel Prince, Jude and Carden. I can't stand them. Their romance isn't like straight up. Why? We're going with a different brush because that's definitely dirty. Jude and Carden aren't like exceptionally cringeworthy to me. They're just like, I don't know, I just don't like them. I think that romance is so unbelievably unnecessary, and I also think that Carden is terrible. I also think Jude's terrible, so it's not like he's bad for her or something. They're both bad. So I guess they work together, but like, I can't stand either of them. Another one that I definitely have to go with, which I feel like people will want to kill me for. I feel like people will want to kill me for saying the Jude and Carden one too, because everyone loves The Cruel Prince, except for me apparently. But definitely Julian and Emma from The Dark Artifices. Can't stand them. I find them so cringy together. I just don't like them at all. Question 10, highlighter, pick a book that brightened your day. The highlighter that I use is this Becca highlighter in the color Moonstone. I really, really like this one because the color just works well with my skin and it actually shows up on me, which doesn't happen with some highlighters and I don't understand why. For a book that brightened my day, I feel like I don't read many happy books, but I feel like the one that comes to mind first is definitely the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series by Jenny Han. That whole series just makes me so unbelievably happy. I just think it's, one, so well written, two, just a happy story and a happy series, and it makes me smile every time I think about it. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with that one because that book series always makes me happy and I want to reread it like all the time. All right, so that is it for highlight. And now on to the very last question, lipstick. Pick your favorite book kiss. I don't know if I have a favorite book kiss. I feel like it changes depending on what book series I'm reading and which one is like in my heart at that moment, if that makes sense. But one that definitely comes to mind is a kiss scene between two characters. I don't know if I should say their names because I don't know if this is a spoiler. I feel like it's obvious at this point, but it's fine, I won't. From a Reaper at the Gates. It is a wonderful kiss scene and it destroyed me completely and I don't even want to think about it. I wouldn't necessarily say that that's my favorite one, but it's definitely up there among some of my favorites because it's just so good and so emotional. For lipstick, I'm gonna go with this NARS Velvet Matte Lip Pencil, which I'm obsessed with. I love these lipsticks. I use them all the time. If I'm ever wearing a lipstick and you're wondering which one it is, it's probably one of these. This one is in the color Valkyrie. I'm gonna go with this because I think it'll go with the eyeshadow. And once I'm done with this, we'll be all done. All right, so my lips are actually super, super chapped and this is a matte lipstick. So I really need to go put some like chapstick on, like take this off and put some chapstick on before like I do anything with this, but this is the completed look. I had such a fun time answering all the questions in this tag and just getting to sit here and chat with you all while I do my makeup. I take forever to do my makeup, so this video took me literally like an hour and a half to film because I'm the worst, but I still nonetheless hope you all enjoyed watching this. I hope this gave you some helpful tips on how I do my makeup because lots of you ask me that question, and this is pretty much how I do it every time I do it, except my eyeshadow usually isn't this intense, but you know, I'm trying out new things. Also, if you've noticed, my hair has grown like tremendously throughout this video, and that's because I just took a shower and it started out wet and now it's dry, so it's just frizzing up, which is great. Let me know in the comments down below if you wear makeup, do you use any of the same products that I do? Because I'm just kind of curious. Also, feel free to leave your answer to the question, what's a book that brightened your day? Because I would really like to know, because like I said, I don't really read many happy books, and I feel like I should do that. I should read some more happy books. I read too many sad ones. If you would like to follow me on any of my social media, all my links are in the description box as always. But thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!